In this video, we are going to increment an integer array by 1 and return the resulting array of digits. Hello, I am Jagan from growwithdata. I am posting this video to share my knowledge in Python language with you. If this assists you in interview preparation anyways, I will be happy. Let's see a sample input data and we can talk about the question in detail. So we are given an array of digits. So we have 1, 2 and 3. Now we have to increment this by 1 and we have to return the result. So the actual value is going to be 123 and we have to add 1. The result is going to be 124. So the output has to be like 1, 2 and 4. Right. So if you see this, we can simply say you can just take the last digit and then just whatever the element is plus 1 will be done, right? But for example, if the digit is going to be like 129, then what happens? The output has to be 130, right? That means we have to change this 2. If suppose the input is going to be like 999, then the output has to be like 1000. So the length is supposed to be 3, but the output length array is going to be 4. So how will you do that if it's a list value, if it's not a regular integer value, right? This is what the challenge is. So let's first start with a very simple approach. Okay, let's take this as the input, and first what we can do, make the list into a integer. How will you do it? We just say join. This is going to throw an error, but I just want to show you. So when you join the elements, if it's a list, then it's going to throw an error saying that the expected string, instead we get the integer. So what we do, we just say for I in digits, we just convert that to a string. So what we do, we take that array, read each element and convert that to a string, and then you join the list. If you don't join the list, if you want to see what is going to be the return value, so this integer elements becomes a string element. So that string element we just join to make a proper string. Now we convert that to a integer, right? The 123 becomes 123. Now you add 1 to it, becomes 124. Now you convert that to a string, so it becomes 124. Now you make it as a list, becomes 124. But the problem is it has to be a integer. The element has to be integer. Now it's showing us a string, right? So what we have to do, what we did in the initial part of it, right? So we are just going to make it as int of I for I in whatever the list we get, right? So we got 124. As how we do it, just have a function growwithdata digits, return the value, and if you call this function, it should return 124. If it's 129, it should be 130, right? If you want to have more test cases, then let's try 2 more with the assert function, and everything pass. If it's a 9, the return value has to be 10. 4321 should be 4322 and 124 we talked about it. So this is a very simple and a straightforward solution. So why are you worried about it? When the interviewer say you should not convert that to a string, without converting to a string, how will you do this array increment? If that is the case, then this point is not going to work. So what should we do? So how we do the normal addition? For example, you say 1, 2 and 3. If you want to add 1 to it, right? So how will you normally do it? First we do the ones digit. 3 plus 1 is 4, and then we carry the, if there is a remainder, we carry to it. There is no remainder here, so put 2 and we have 1, right? So if it's going to be 1, 2 and 9 plus 1, what you do? First you try 9 plus 1, which is 10, put 0, carry 1, 2 plus 1 is 3, and then 1, 130. If it's going to be 999 plus 1, then what you do? 9 plus 1 is 10, carry 1, 9 plus 1 is 10, carry 1, 9 plus 1 is 10, carry 1, and you put the 1 at the end, right? So we start with the right to left and see if there is 9 in it. If there is 9, then you make that element a 0 and increment the next one. If the next one is also 9, then make it 0 and go to the next one. If it's the end of the list, like if it's a 3-digit array and you completed 3 digits, then you just add 1 to the beginning of the array, right? So this is the way we do a normal addition. So this is what we are going to try on our coding part. Okay, before that, let's learn something on the list manipulation. Okay, let's start with the first one. How will you get the last index position, right? If it's going to be array of 1, 2 and 9, what is the last one? The list or array index starts with the left side 0, this is 1 and this is 2, right? So 2 is the max. So how will you find the last digit of the array? We just simply say digits of -1, right? It gets the last digit. If you say digit of 1, that means it starts with 0 and 1, right? But when it comes from the right to left, then -1 is the last element. So that's one point. Now if I want to update a particular element, right? If I want to update a particular element, for example, I want to update the second position, take digits of 1, right? If I want to update that position, I just say digits of 1. 1 is the index position, equal to 5 digits. So if I just say the index position and then what should be the replacement value, it will just overwrite that position, right? So that is how you overwrite it. Now if you want to add one element to the end, like this case, right? You have a array of length 3, but you want to add 1 to the beginning of it, the 0th position. Then how will you do it? We just say digits dot insert what should be the index position and what should be the value you want to insert. You say digits, oops, so insert insert. So when you say insert and the index position and the value, it will just go here. If you just say the index position is going to be 0, 1 here, right? It won't overwrite, it just push that value. It just put the given value into that index and move the other elements to the right. Okay. So for our requirement, we just going to add to the beginning of the array. Okay, fine. Now the digits dot insert, right? So there is a small trick in it. Before that, we can just have one more option. How will I add element without the insert function? So digits equal to 1, 2, 3. If I just say 1 plus digits, right? So if I simply say a list plus a list, array plus array, how will you say it, right? So 1 plus the digits, it will just add. If you want to put 0, it will be easier. So it just add to the beginning, right? It's a simple way of replacing the insert. So when you do a insert statement, if I am going to do the same thing in a different way, let's see what happens. So have digits 1, 2, 3. I just say, normally we just say a equal to a plus 1 kind of thing, right? If I do digits equal to digit plus insert, just say print, so we can see what happens. When you print the digits, you just say none. So why is that? Any idea? So when you put the insert method of a list in the Python, it inserts the specified value of the specified position you mention, but it modifies the list in place and returns none. So when you do this, it's going to be a in place function. So it just replaces or modifies the list as in place. Okay, it's not going to create a new variable, a new element. Okay, so no new variable is created. So we can't assign this to another variable. So it's in place. So in place in Python means that the operation modifies the existing object without creating a new object, right? If it creates a new object, then you can say a equal to kind of, right? But the in place, it won't create the new object. It just modifies the existing object. That means the change happens within the same memory location occurred by the original object. It won't modify, it won't create a new object part of it. So whenever you do the insert part of it, you can't assign that to a variable. Okay, just keep in mind. But when you do a list plus a list, then you can do it. Like if you say a equal to this and you say a, then you can just get the value, right? This is not a in place function. This is a normal appending to arrays. Okay, so these are the things you have to keep in mind before you start the program. So you know how to get the last index position, and you have to know how to overwrite it, and the third one is how you can insert element in any of the positions. Our thing is the starting of the array, and then the same way you can just append an element to the beginning of the array, and what is the in place function in Python. Okay, so these are things we learn before we start our coding process. So how will we do our addition, this normal addition? How will we convert this to a program? Let's try a for loop first. Okay, the first approach is we convert that to string. If the interviewer says you can't use a string conversion, then we can try the for loop. Let's start with this. Digits def grow with data. Okay, first we just say we are going to increment by 1 for I in range length of digits. One more. First, what you would check if the last element is 9 or whatever the position is going to be 9. So if digits of minus I minus 1 equal to 9. If it's 9, then you just replace digits of minus I minus 1 equal to 0. If it's 9, then you add 1 to it, then becomes 10. So we just carry 0, and then we just say if the index position, right, the range equal to the first element, the length of digits minus 1. That means if the index is 0, then digits dot insert the 0th position, add 1 to it. Now return digits, right? If we have the 9, right? Oh, it's indentation, I have to push, that's why. Okay, so if it's 9, we have to convert, you have to replace that with 0, and then if it's a last digit, then add 1 to it. If it's not 9, if it's 6 or 7, then there is no work at all. We just say digits of minus I minus 1, that index, whatever the value is, just add 1 to it. Return digits, right? Now we just call the function. Now it's become 1, 2, 4. You want to try all the test cases. So we call all the test case, right, all pass. So what we are doing here, first we just get a value 1 to the variable, and we are going to use that for incrementing. We are not using at all, so we don't, okay, we are not using at all, right? Okay, so what we do here, first we get the array 1, 2 and 3, right? So first it takes the range, so I equal to 0, it checks if the digits of minus I minus 1 is minus 1, which is the last digit, if it's equal to 9. Is it 9? No, right? So it goes to the else statement. So whatever in the else statement, we get that position. So digits of 0 is a 3, so 3 plus 1 equal to 4, and then it returns the digit. So 1, 2, 4, right? So same for this. When you go with 9, right? When you go with 9, then what happens? It just gets the length. It's going to be, length is 1. So range starts with 0. So I equal to 0. So I digits of 0 is 9. Yes. So it says yes. So you just replace the digits with 0, and then it check if the length is equal to I. Yes. So length is 1, I is also 1. So what it do? It simply add 1 to the beginning of the array. So you just say 1 comma 0. So the return value is going to be 1 comma 0. So it's a straightforward thing. Only thing is you have to know that you have to do insert as a in place function, right? You can't assign a value. If you just simply say okay, it's going to return here or here, okay, just say a equal to this and you put a, then it's going to throw an error saying that it's going to have the null value part, right? So make sure how to handle the in place function. Okay, digits. So what we screwed up? No, we don't have this. Okay, the comment part is going up. Okay. So the for loop is so simple to handle now, right? So we just have a loop and 2 if conditions or else. So it will be handled. The same way you can do it in a while loop also. So this is more than enough for a interview perspective, but just in case if you want to try a different approach, like instead of for, if you want to try a while loop, let's see how to do that. So here same like the initial we has assigned the value, right? So now we can use that value here, I equal to -1, sorry, indentation issue, while digits of -1, right? So here we are going to change the position, that's why we assign a variable, digits of I equal to 9. So if the initial position is 9, what we did, we just replace that position, sorry, digits with 0, and then we check if it's the end of I equal to I minus 1, right? If so, I we start with -1, right? So -1 is -2, right? So we just want to make sure it's a positive I. So minus of -I is greater than length of digits. So now it becomes 2. So you just check with the length of digits. That means we are trying to see if the starting of the array till it moves. So with the starting of the array, we just say digits dot insert 0, 1, and then return digits. So if the position is not equal to 9, right, this else is for the while loop. Digits of I equal to that element plus 1, return digits. Now we can call our function and see if there is any syntax error. No. So same like the for loop, we are just checking if the last position is 9. If it's not 9, we just add 1 to that value and we return it. But if it's 9, then we just replace that index element to 0, and then we see if it is a last position. If it is a last position, then you add 1 to the first index. If not, you just increment I, you just go to the next position. -2 is this, and check if it's 9. If it's not 9, you just add to it and then move on, right? Same like for loop, just to make sure that you just play around with the I and move the index from right to left. So today we worked on our previous learnings, like how you manipulate a list, how to do a for loop and a while loop, and also we learned something about the inline function. Hope you like this video and thanks for watching.